Welcome, one and all, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, throw out your calendars. Because from now on, it's 2020, baby. It is on. Yesterday, a new candidate joined the race, and this time, we have heard his name before. I'm talking about former Vice President and man saying, ladies, my teeth are up here. Joe Biden. Now, people like the joke. People like the joke. Biden has a full head of steam right away. He was already the front runner before he declared, and in a poll taken after his formal announcement last week, 39% of Democrats say Biden's their top choice for the nomination, which puts him more than 20 percentage points ahead of his nearest competitor, Bernie Sanders. So, looks like the Democrats aren't feeling the burn so much as they're jonesing for Joe. Or vibing the Bide, or weeping for the former Veepin. Today, Biden was on the Good Morning America to show what he offers as an alternative to Trump.
The president has a motto, make America great again. Do you have one?
Make America moral again. Make America return to the essence of who we are, the dignity of the country, the dignity of people, treating our people with dignity.
Move over, MAGA. MAGA's over because Biden's coming at you with Mama Marteo, Wawat, Dot, Kut, Dop, At, Op, Wood. A little awkward to say, I'll admit, but it's going to look fantastic on his head. Now, like that. Yeah?
Something Pharrell would wear.
That would be something, that would be something Pharrell might wear. Trump wasted no time taking tweet shots at Biden. Yesterday, after Biden delivered his announcement in Pittsburgh, Trump tweeted, "Sleepy Joe Biden is having his first rally in the great state of Pennsylvania. He obviously doesn't know that Pennsylvania is having one of the best economic years in its history, with the lowest unemployment ever and a now thriving steel industry." That was that. And great future, ... The dew-sucking firefighters' leadership. Wait, what? What? When did Joe Biden become a fireman? I can't. Those were back to back? I can't follow this tweet chain. It was already headed to Crazy Town, took a sharp left at Insane Junction, and then plunged into what the hell are you talking about, Gorge? But after going after Biden, it may not be a smart move for Trump, because in fact, it's exactly the behavior several of the president's political advisors have been warning him against. But Trump has no impulse control, especially when he's told he can't do something. That's why he always fails the marshmallow test, okay? Let me get this straight. I can eat one marshmallow now, or if I wait, I get two. Okay, here's my choice. I already found the whole bag in your desk and I'm full. You lose. Trump's advisors, he cheats is what I'm saying. He cheats. Trump's advisors are warning him not to single out any top Democratic contenders because that could give them more oxygen to rise above the crowded pack. And let's be honest, at their ages, both Trump and Biden need all the oxygen they can get. Despite, still vital though, despite getting a late start in the campaign season, Biden, and I was surprised about this, he's not calling in any favors. In fact, a few days ago, he told reporters that he has asked Barack Obama not to endorse him. Yes, he does not want Obama anywhere near his campaign. So Joe must be furious that somehow Obama snuck in to all of Biden's latest ad.
This is an extraordinary man with an extraordinary career in public service. Somebody who has devoted his entire professional life to service to this country. He revitalized American manufacturing as the head of our middle-class task force. He suited up for our cancer moonshot, giving hope to millions of Americans. He championed landmark legislation to protect women from violence. So that's Joe Biden, resilient, loyal, and a patriot.
Joe Biden could not get any closer to Barack Obama if he were a pair of dad jeans. But for now, mom jeans, actually. It's mom jeans. Mom jeans. But for now, Trump is still president. And today, he met at the White House with congressional Democrats, including party leaders and the least popular exhibit at Madame Tussauds, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. Now, you may recall that the last time these two got together with Trump, things did not go well for Trump. It was supposed to be an informal meeting, but Donald Trump invited the cameras in there, hoping to school Chuck and Nancy on the government shutdown. But he said this on camera.
I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country. So I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it. The last time you shut it down, it didn't work. I will take the mantle of shutting down.
I would say he put his foot in his mouth, but a foot would have stopped him from saying all that dumb stuff. No, Foot. Let me talk, Foot. I'm the one to blame for the government shutdown. Now, Foot, stay still. I need to shoot you. That will teach me. The subject of the meeting today was a big infrastructure bill, which is why we're calling this showdown
Trump versus Chuck and Nancy 2. Game of Roads. Appetite for infrastructure.
Well, I think that introduction might be longer than any of the jokes we have coming up after it. Well, no cameras were invited into the meeting, and apparently they were actually civil toward each other, and they agreed to a much-needed $2 trillion spending bill to repair our roads and bridges. But question is, where's that money going to come from?
We agreed that we would meet again to talk about how it would be paid for.
We said we would meet in 3 weeks, and he would present to us some of his ideas on funding.
Funding? Okay, here are my ideas. Plan A, does America have a rich dad? No? Then Plan B, I say we burn the country down to the ground for insurance money. I know a guy over in Weehawken named Sparky, never talks. Things were so collegial at this meeting that apparently Trump shared some white Tic Tacs with Speaker Pelosi during the meeting, which she ate. Tic Tacs. Eating? Tic Tacs. But that's what he pulls out before he grabs, Nancy, get out of there! You too, Chuck, just to be safe, run!